Hi guys, welcome. So today we're going to be testing some more Nxtzen stuff. So I've done Easy Dry and Z&R on other videos. I have not done Protect. So today we're going to use Super Clean, which I have mixed up here, 10-to-1 in a spray bottle. We're going to try that as a wheel cleaner. And then I have Foam Decon, which is their only soap. Super Clean, they don't have a specific wheel cleaner either. So this is an acid-based non-acid degreaser, multi-surface cleaner. So really like an APC. So we've got that. We've got our Foam Decon. Foam Decon, they tell you to put 1 to 40 in a cannon. So I've got 10 mils and 400 of water in here. It's interesting because it says super concentrate 1 to 1,000 formula, but they're telling you to put 1 to 40 in your cannon. So they're assuming like a 1 to 25, but really cannons are like 1 to 15. So I don't know, it doesn't really make much sense to me, but we'll go with it. Durogel, Next Protect, these are tire dressings, so we'll play with those as well. And then we'll use Ceramic Express as like a drying aid slash detail spray. I have also tested out their prep solvent and Z&R Plus. I don't know if I'll do those on this video or not. Maybe, we'll see. See how long it goes. But these are all filled up, ready to go. Like I said, 1 to 40 in here, 1 to 10 in here. And obviously the car's right over here. It is decently dirty, dirtier than usual. And yeah, let me grab a wheel brush and do this right in the sunlight like we shouldn't, and see how this works. So the minimum dilution that they show for this is 1 to 10. They say that you can go, I think it was 1 to 40 for interiors. I will say, like, gripe, I guess would be the right word. So the bottles don't really say what they are on them. Like Foam Decon is pretty self-explanatory, but Durogel, Ceramic Express, it's like, okay, is that a detail spray, quick detailer? Is that a ceramic sealant? Is it a whatever? Z&R Plus. This is like multiple products, and then on the backs of the bottles. The only thing that's there is a QR code. So you scan the QR code, it takes you to the website, which I would say is also positive and negative. The positive would be that when you go to the website, it's always going to be up to date. But the negative would be you need to use your phone to wash your car. So what I am seeing is, I obviously don't let it dwell very long, but it's not very touchless, meaning like these sections in here are still pretty dirty. So I'll just get in here to each of these. So I've said it before, I'm like the only guy who hates APCs. I think it's a dumb product. I mean, I know that there's a purpose for, different people, but we have tire cleaners, we have wheel cleaners, we have degreasers, we have specific products for specific purposes, and APCs are trying to do too many things and they don't do them well. So, go through and hit the rest of the wheels. Try letting this one dwell a little bit longer since it's out of the sun. Smell-wise, it's like that typical chemical APC smell. Like a Green Star or it just smells chemically. So I think that there are other APCs I would probably rather. Clean by ADS probably would be my favorite, but again, I'm not a big APC guy. yeah, no etching or issues, but just, I don't know. I'm like not really impressed. It's an APC, like most other APCs. So nothing crazy. Let's grab our foam cannon. I'm interested to see if this actually foams, and I don't know. I don't think it will. That's my guess, is that it's not going to foam very well because there's so little product in here. Yeah. I don't love that. I mean, it's doing an okay job pulling dirt down, but you could see that back bumper is still pretty dirty, and it doesn't seem to be doing a ton. Let me just put a little bit more in here really quick. See if I thicken it up a touch, if it's better. So like I said, they tell you on the bottle 1 to 1000 concentrate. They tell you to put 1 to 40 in your cannon. The cannon mixes, like this ADS cannon mixes around 1 to 15. So 1 to 15 times 1 to 40 means I'm spraying about 1 to 600. All right. So this is probably like an ounce in a quarter of a cannon. I think that's probably a little bit closer to what we should be looking for. So they do tell you to bucket wash with this at 1 to 1000. And it seems like they're trying to do this whole you know, this highly dilutable game, which means you don't really get like the great scent and everything else. So they say allow the snow foam to dwell for 2 to 3 minutes, which it wasn't very snowy. 1 to 40 in your foam cannon, allow the snow foam to dwell for 2 to 3 minutes and rinse, follow with a bucket wash solution mixed at 1000 to 1. So, let's see if I can get this to foam. Yeah, getting a little bit. All right. So we'll give this a little bit of dwell time, then we'll rinse it off, go from there. I'm not seeing a ton of, you know, this isn't like an active foam necessarily, or it's a Decon wash, right? I'm not seeing like any colors drawing down or anything like that. It just seems to be bird crap on the hood it's doing a good job on. Bugs, yeah, I don't have a ton of bugs today, but I don't know, I don't really see like big moves happening with bugs. They do seem to be released, but they're not like bleeding the way they normally do. And then, yeah, on the dirt, I'm used to dirtier foam, we'll just say that, from most of the pre-washes that I've tested. So, it's not very good. just not seeing a lot, like dirt-wise. It didn't really do much. And this is just film. It's not really stuck on there, but it doesn't really seem to have hit it. And then this bucket isn't very soapy, so yeah. I will say, I do like 365. I do like Cutmaster. I do like Nxtzen coatings. But this, I'm not impressed. I call them Decon. Just, it's like they're trying to make it too, I don't know, too concentrated. So, I'm not really having to hit these things hard to get stuff off, but you know, with my normal built hammer or testing a lot of the other snow foams that I've tested in the past, this step is almost like, I don't know that unnecessary is the right word, but it, you know, I'm usually like 80+% cleanup on the car before even touching it with a mitt, and this is maybe 50 at that. I don't know. And then because of the lack of foam, it's easy to miss where you've been and where you're going, especially for somebody like me who's doing it on camera and not necessarily paying attention. I probably should have foamed it the second time. In hindsight, but it does say bucket wash, so I'm trying to follow the instructions and have the experience the manufacturer puts on the bottle, or in this case website, beyond a QR code. So yeah, I don't know, not really impressed. This one isn't great, but sometimes you have that. Have Ceramic Express here. So this is supposed to be like a ceramic detailer, I guess. Ceramic sealant. We're gonna treat it like a drying aid. I'm gonna do direct sunlight. It says you can do it on wet or dry panels. Start off with some glass. One positive thing I can say about the Decon shampoo is, you know, it did appear to make my coating effective, right? Like, it's not all clogged up or whatever. You can see it's pretty hydrophobic. Most of the water's gone. So, not bad. And generally, okay, this is slick. This is nice. I'm not getting streakiness. Seems to be working fairly well. I am doing it on a wet panel, but yeah, this I don't have complaints about. This works pretty well. Now, is it gonna remove Sigma from my shelf? No. And you might ask why. Well, it's not quite as slick. It doesn't really have a scent. I don't think the user experience is as good. So Sigma from GT is my favorite spray sealant, and then my favorite drying aid is probably Yum Detailer. But this is slick. It does feel good. I could happily use this one at least, right? As opposed to some of these other things I've tested in the past that I just really haven't liked. So, we finish getting this dried off, and we'll dig into the tire dressings. Actually, let's talk about these two quick. So this is the Prep solvent. I've actually been using this for a project that I haven't shown on camera yet. Some of you might have noticed in the beginning of this video. So this works pretty well. It's definitely strong, the Prep solvent, but it is a, it's a solvent, right? It says right on the bottle. So this is Z&R Plus, which is a waterless wash or detailer. So doing it straight here. And so first off, the Prep did a good job of removing, the ceramic that I just sprayed on here. Obviously we didn't give that a chance to bond. I think this works decently well, the Z&R. It's not as slick as I would like it to be, but it works well on glass as a, although it is streaky in the sun, as you can see. Let me try this. Yeah. And I don't think they specifically have a glass cleaner. At least I don't have it. If they do, I don't think they do. So I would say Prep is going to be your guy. But yeah, anyway. All right. So next Protect is low sheen, factory finish, leather, vinyl, rubber, multi-surface protectant. So grab a little bit of this. Just going to use a towel today so I don't have to get a new applicator out. Put this on. We'll see how that does. And we'll go right up to the Falcon logo and then back to the word trail. Okay. And then we'll grab the other side of this rag and Duragel seems a lot thicker. So let's grab this area, basically the whole Falcon logo with that. So this one's definitely thicker. I like the consistency a little bit better for this. This would be better for like an applicator, or like that was a brush style. So let this sit for a minute. I don't hate this, but it does look a little blotchy, the Next Protect. How it just kind of like immediately got absorbed. You can try a second helping of it here. See if it gets any better. See, it just kind of fades right off real quick, gets removed. Where this has some gloss, but yeah, I'm not really blown away by either one. I think this is too glossy, the Duragel. And I feel like the Next Protect it's not really doing much. Know what I mean? All right, so Nxtzen. Start off by saying I spent some time with the guys at SEMA. They all seem really great. I enjoyed Cutmaster and using Cutmaster. I like their towels. I like their 365 spray-on ceramic coating. I think that works very well. I think it feels like a company that specializes in correction and coatings that decided to do a line and have some maintenance products available. So, they don't have a dedicated wheel cleaner. Super Clean worked okay. I mean, it's an APC. It did a fine job, but I don't think that it didn't really blow me away. Z&R I like at 500 to 1. So they tell you to do 1,000 to 1 on the bottle, or 750 to 1. I found 500 to 1 I really liked. So, that's my recommendation for that. Let's just say that. I like Z&R at 500 to 1, which, they're targeting this 1,000 to 1. You could be frustrated that you're not getting 1,000 to 1, but also everybody else is 250 to 1. So, I don't think it's a big deal. Easy Dry ceramic drying aid. I'm not really crazy about that. I did like the one that I used today, ceramic, which I don't know where I set that. Here it is. This guy, Ceramic Express. So that is my favorite of the, we'll say, drying aids. Again, it doesn't really have a scent and some other, so the user experience, is just fine, but it wasn't really anything that blew me away. The foam Decon I wasn't crazy about. Z&R Plus works okay. As you saw, it was a little streaky in the sun, but I used it as a waterless, or rinse, whatever you want to consider it, waterless, rinseless. I still think Defy from Ethos is probably the best waterless that I've ever tested. DIY's waterless also comes to mind. That's a really good product, but again, it didn't really blow me away. You can use it as a detail spray / drying aid. I would probably, it was fine, just say that. Prep Solvent, I think that worked really well. It was very effective. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but these cabinets are a different color than they usually are, so it's because I wrapped them. So I had some issues with the finish on my cabinets, and I'll do a separate video on this, but I've had these now for a couple years, and I've gotten some splatter, some runs. I've had, foam cannons that got hot and kind of peed off of the side. So I had, marks, runs, streaks, things where the finish got etched on my cabinets, and I was going to have them powder coated, but I opted to just try vinyl wrapping them because I figured the powder coating was going to be expensive and I couldn't really touch it up, but a vinyl wrap I can do myself. So I got it's Avery 900, forget the name of the color. I'll do a separate video on it, but I got, it's a 5 foot wide roll. I got 6 feet long of it. I was able to do both of these fully, and then I have enough left over to do one of my uppers. And then I just ordered some more. So it's probably I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cabinets in total. And it's probably $400 maybe to re-wrap them. So anyway, just one of those things. But I've been using the Prep Solvent to do that, and it's worked very well. It's easy to get off. It does seem to be a little bit, we'll say, on the aggressive side. So maybe there's some Clean Tool's probably a little safer, but it worked just fine. Duragel and Next Protect, it didn't feel like Next Protect really was able to, I don't know, flashed off and didn't really seem to get absorbed in the rubber. Duragel was shiny, worked better, a little too shiny for me, a little glossy. The OG stuff, once it sits for a minute, it kind of mats out, and I like that a little bit better. So my favorite tire dressings are still either OG tire dressing or Clean Tool tire dressing. I like that one as well. So anyway, as far as like the line is concerned, I'll probably keep a little Z&R for myself. The rest of it though, I still have 365, I still have Nxtzen ceramic coatings. I've used those and like those. I still have Cutmaster, that's going to stay. But these I'm honestly not crazy about. So that's all I have for today. I thank you for watching and I hope that you're having a great day.